Welcome to TaraElla News, where you can still get your daily fix of the radical centrist viewpoint in a world otherwise too full of identity politics and fake news. By the way, I talk about a new issue every day, so if centrist commentary is your thing, I highly recommend subscribing to this channel. The recently released movie Crazy Rich Asians has been a major box office success. I haven't seen the movie yet, but given the buzz surrounding it, I think I will make an attempt to see it. I am all for movies that explore the different cultures and subcultures in society. It means we get a chance to understand each other's lives. For me, the most important part of cultural discourse is to listen to people's lived experiences. Forget all the academic social theory. If you want to improve the world, looking at real life is where it's at. Sadly, as with anything about non-white people these days, some are already making it all political. That this movie's success is all about a triumph of so-called diversity against the supporters of Donald Trump, diversity's imaginary enemy. It has even been compared with a certain movie about 4 black women released last year, with both being hailed as examples of so-called diversity. It's part of the worrying trend towards pitting non-white people against white people. Which leads me to something I've wanted to say for a long time. Non-white is not a valid category. To suggest that all non-whites are somehow similar is inherently racist for 2 reasons. Firstly, and most importantly, the idea of non-whites as a category is discriminatory against white people, because it is a category built on exclusion rather than inclusion. And contrary to some leftists' belief, racism against white people can be a real thing too. Sarah Jong is a good example. Secondly, to refuse to see that non-white cultures are not all the same is dismissive of these cultures. It reeks of political motive over genuine concern. It reeks of an oppression Olympics attitude where the focus is not on cultural understanding itself, but on finding some oppressor versus oppressed dynamic. Where does this lead to? To the kind of mindless, destructive behavior that I was talking about on yesterday's episode about the destruction of Confederate monuments, which is both divisive and useless in actually reducing racism. By the way, let's talk about identity politics more generally. While it is okay to celebrate certain cultural identities, it is not okay to play identity politics. Identity politics is inherently divisive because it divides people into antagonistic groups with supposedly conflicting interests. It is also anti-individualism because it ignores the individuality of people. As a moral libertarian, I believe it is a moral imperative that individuals have equal moral agency, and if individuals are divided into groups, with some seen as oppressors and some seen as oppressed, this kind of individual level equality cannot be achieved. In simple terms, identity politics takes us further away from the colorblind, gender-blind society that classical liberalism promotes. Now, don't get me wrong. As an Asian, I'm happy that people may learn something about our culture through this movie. I am also all for learning how people from other cultural backgrounds live and how other cultures see things. I think that if we all learn about each other, there will be less misunderstanding in society. It will bring people from different backgrounds closer together. After all, the only hope for mutual understanding lies in truly listening, and truly seeking to understand. It's a beautiful thing. However, if we make it political, we lose the ability to be truly empathetic and to truly understand. We start heading away from mutual understanding and we head towards antagonistic struggle instead, which is ugly. The point is, please don't turn something beautiful into something ugly. That's all for today. I'll be back with more centrist commentary tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.